Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Glorious Reacts. Before we begin, I would like to introduce ourselves. I am your friend from down under, Arnold, and I am joined by the thriller from Manila, Joel. Say hi, Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
And our very own Singapore sling, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Hello.
I
Very
actually
good people.
expected your voice to be high pitched, but that's okay.
Oh.
We
Hello.
weren't prepared for that one. In this episode, we join the Watcher as he looks through the multiverse at key events throughout the MCU that we've gotten very familiar with, but with significant differences, giving us variant stories that show us a possible answer to the titular question, what if? So without further ado, let's get right to it. Now, I think I am the one who's up for a recap. And I've prepared something here for you. So, let's get this through. So, we are taken through the beginnings of the first Avengers movie up to a point where a single decision caused the story we know of to diverge into a very different one, with a very different hero. Steve Rogers is shot before he gets injected with the serum, and the explosions that ensue threaten the whole experiment. With no one else willing to step up, Peggy Carter climbs into the machine and is turned into the world's first super soldier. She quickly discovers that, despite her newfound capabilities and her willingness to utilize them in the war effort, the prevailing biases of the time prevent her from doing so, frustrating her. Together with Howard Stark, she pursues her own mission to claim an artifact of unusual power from Hydra, the Tesseract. With the Tesseract in hand, Rogers, now recovered from his wounds, is able to participate in combat alongside Captain Carter, using a rather familiar mechanized suit of Stark's design. Dubbed the Hydra Stomper, the duo succeed in fighting back the Nazis and Hydra. That is, until one mission leads them to lose Rogers. They learn Hydra's true plans, and in similar fashion to the ending of the first Avenger, Captain Carter storms the Castle de Crac in a final attempt to stop the Red Skull before he fully weaponizes the Tesseract. Alright guys, wow. Let's go right into our likes.
Well done with the recap.
Oh, thank you very
Yeah.
much. I really enjoyed, kinda enjoyed rewriting the
It was
plot
as if I
of
was listening to
the first-
Uatu.
Oh, Uatu. Oh, I'll take that as a compliment. Jeffrey Wright. That's a great
Yeah.
voice. I really like his. Let's go straight to our likes.
Oh, and Jeffrey Wright plays a character named Arnold
Go.
in Westworld.
This
That's
is
true.
this is
That's
this is Inception at multiple levels. Joel, let's start with your likes. Lead us off, sir.
All right, so yeah, my likes. I actually kind of really like this first episode, and one of the things that I really liked about this episode, and I think it's going to be consistent with the rest of What If, is the fact that the animation is done by Disney, and you can really see the stamp of approval, the Disneyfied animation.
Yes.
Yeah, but it wasn't just Disneyfied though. You could still, I still had that. They had an overlay on the animation that made it look not just Disneyfied, but it made it look old Disneyfied. It had like a sepia overlay. That made it a little bit more nostalgic.
Right. By that, do you mean like 90s or just old because this is like a 40s supposedly?
It just felt like the lighting was a little more saturated. I don't know if that's it was a little more saturated
towards the yellow side. I am
Yeah,
saying,
so it was a little bit brighter, and it wasn't clean lines.
Okay.
It was a little fuzzy. That gave that whole nostalgic feel, because they wanted, of course, the period of the episode was in the 1940s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really liked it. The Disneyfied animation that was augmented by that whole overlay that they had. And yeah, it just watching this episode made me want to rewatch First Avenger because I wanted to see how they really because I mean it's been shown that a lot of the scenes in the different What If episodes are actually recreations of the original movies.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, I wanted to see how this episode was different from the first Avenger, how it was almost the same, and there was just a little tweak. Yeah, it just made me sort of miss First Avenger.
Good movie.
And yeah, yeah, and one other thing, this oh my gosh, coming off the Suicide Squad, I really love the fact that Marvel is now low key killing Nazis. Uh, you've never seen I don't know if I've ever seen a Marvel film before showing
Oh,
enemies getting killed.
actual death sequences.
Yeah, because I mean dropping grenades into tanks.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's no
uh,
way there won't be any survival in that.
right? I mean,
It's true.
and having seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, just seeing that sequence where Peggy opened that, I think that was an airplane, and then she started hitting the Nazi with her shield multiple times. It was like, wait, isn't this just the same as what US Agent did?
Yeah.
Right? I was
Yeah.
like, okay, and then she has that whole sequence where she throws the Nazi out of the airplane into the open air. So
No,
it was
you don't see any parachute come out.
yeah, there was no parachute. You're just flipping around in the
That's
air.
it. Yeah, you're right.
Right? So that whole thing about Marvel now being okay, maybe because it's animation. Although there still wasn't any blood that was shown because
Not Marvel,
it's Disney.
Disney. You mean Disney.
Disney, yeah, because it's Disney after all. So yeah, it was fun to see that, and most especially, you get to see Red Skull getting crushed by that humongous squid,
By the space
Uh,
squid.
the space squid. Yeah, maybe that's the
Do
guy
we know what it is?
Th-
That's not
there-
Starro, right? Because that's just
It's not
wrong.
Star. It's not Star.
That's just wrong.
There are some
different
people. I
different
think,
universe entirely.
but it's a multiverse.
It's a multi.
Different comic universe.
But you do know that the DC universe is actually in the Marvel multiverse
Yep, it's a
in the
number.
comics,
It's a
and then
number.
the Marvel multiverse has an Earth in the DC multiverse.
There you go.
So
Okay,
yeah,
And
that's
we have,
why
we
because
have amalgam, which is proof that they both exist.
yeah, yeah, and in recent comics, I think it was which was it? Was it Superman or was it one of the DC superheroes has like a prediction or a prophecy that that superhero is going to fight with a green monster, a god of thunder, and something else.
Are you
So they're
serious? I've
alluding to
The past.
this
just
this
recent?
this drummed up the rumor that a Marvel and DC
Crossover,
merger was in the offing.
Okay. Not a collaboration, an actual
No,
merger.
no, an actual merger.
Wow.
Because this was also during the time that comics, well, until now, comic sales had been going down, and then that's why they had to revamp the way that they made comics. So yeah, but anyway, yeah,
Okay.
Marvel is in DC, DC is in Marvel, so
It's
it's
quite
not
possible.
that far fetched.
So it's
Sure.
quite,
Okay,
so it's quite
but it's-
possible it's Starro.
but it's
No,
not
no,
Starro.
Still too
It's
many
not
hands.
Starro.
Too many
Yeah, it's still not
arms.
Starro.
You know what it is? I know
Yeah.
what it is. It's the Kraken from Davy Jones' Locker.
Yeah, again, synergizing
Well,
their
the
properties.
space
You just
Stone.
didn't see when it opened its mouth. You didn't see Jack Sparrow was there in the
Oh,
center.
Jack Sparrow was
He
inside.
was trying to go out.
Even more
Yeah.
far-fetched. They're all part of
Yeah.
Disney's part
but-
of the
but-
multiverse.
Yeah, there are some rumors that supposedly it's the Marvel multiversal monster named Shumagorath.
Oh.
That's
Makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a bit large, but sure. Is he
Shumagorath
supposed
is
to
like
be-
an eye, right? An eye with
An
tentacles.
eye with tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to be that huge? I
Oh.
don't remember him being that huge.
Well, it's an interpretation of the
Yeah,
character.
it can be. Yeah, yeah.
It could be, but
It's a what
but-
if.
yeah, it's a what if. What if Shumagorath became that
gigantic.
big?
There you
Yeah.
go. Let's continue on. Paul, your
Yes.
mic, sir.
Oh, this is gonna be quick. I like the casting of Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
When the intro started and he started speaking, it's like, oh yes,
It's he's such a nice voice to listen to, isn't he?
yes. But here's the thing, though. It's one of the. I love that they casted him as the Watcher because his voice is amazing. But when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, Westworld." That's the first thing that came into my
It's
mind.
hard for you to detach.
That was the first thing that came to the first thing actually that came to my mind as I was watching the first sequences, and then he comes up and says time,
Yeah.
space, reality. The first thing that came to my mind was actually Star Trek. Space.
Final frontier.
The final frontier.
Oops.
Like I
Oops,
couldn't get Westworld out of my mind when I was the whole intro. I was like, "Oh, Westworld."
No.
Anyway, but yeah, the casting of him as the Watcher is spot on. I love that they did this, and I hope that he comes out in the movies, the MCU movies.
Oh.
I hope that they use him as in the MCU movies as well.
Well, technically,
But
we
only
already
as a
have
VO.
Watchers in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Because they have
Because
they
they've
do
shown
like
Watchers.
Thanos has that the whole CG thing, right?
Yeah. They have Watchers. They've shown Watchers already
Right.
With good old Stan.
with a good old stand.
Right.
We do not have. We're not sure if it was Uatu, so because they all look alike, anyways.
Yeah.
Because none of them spoke, but you know.
But so even if they even as a VO for Watu, I'll be happy with that.
That's true.
But this is spot on casting, and you come to expect that from Marvel when they cast someone to a role, they really have it spot on. Sometimes you have to get used to it, like Chris Evans when he first was on screen as Captain America. It's like I couldn't get the Human Torch out of my head. But he played the part, so it was okay.
It's a
It was
good
great.
thing it was the Human Torch in your head. The one in my head was boyfriend number 3. From
Scott Pilgrim.
From Scott Pilgrim.
And he had like a mean beard as
Yeah,
well.
and the eyebrows, they were always mad. They were always angry with the
And
eyebrows.
he was like
Movie
a
actor.
movie actor on skateboard
movie
and all that.
Yeah.
So,
He wasn't the vegan. No, the vegan one was what's his name? The Superman guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Superman guy. I forgot who that was.
Superman.
Yeah.
He's in Legends of Tomorrow. He's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Atom.
yeah.
Yes, okay. And I remember his name is his face is in my head. We will remember him later and come back to it.
He's also in Chuck.
Ruth.
Brandon Roth.
Brandon,
Ruth.
yes, there. Yeah. He's the vegan, yeah.
The vegan, the super powered vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Telekinetic
Vegetables is good for
vegan.
you. Vegetables are good for you. And that was it.
That's actually the only thing I have. Okay, so here's the thing. I was thinking about when I was writing our notes down. I was thinking whether I would put more, and I said I decided that when the season finishes, then at the post,
Our post
I'm going
for
to
for the series.
I'm going to bunch it up together.
Okay.
The likes throughout the season.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We'll be doing
The problem
Mhm.
I'm having writing this is just that it's all a different interpretation of events, right?
Mhm.
And I don't, since I'm seeing this for the first time, it's harder for me to, because this is not based on, I guess it's based on something but that I've never read before, so it's fresh. It's harder for me to say that I like specific things from the show.
Okay.
So I want to take it as a whole. Then I'll do at post I'll do a more in-depth likes and dislikes.
Oh, sure, certainly.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll be doing a lot of that one as well. So,
So you'll see me putting out like really short notes for
and then
for-
you'll do
for
each episode.
compilation of it. Sure.
But
Yeah.
to jump a little bit on Paul's about Uatu. I don't know if it's a like, but it was kind of weird for me seeing how they portrayed Uatu in that last sequence before they actually went into the story.
Yeah.
He looked a lot like Eternity.
Right.
So,
yes.
yeah, he looked too much like Eternity for me. So I actually have here the note that is this. What did I say?
Like he's a
Uh,
variant.
Watch-ternity. He's like,
Watch
it seems like the watch-ternity, right?
That'll be an interesting. That'll be an interesting reach. I don't
Yeah.
see it happening, only because the watchers are primarily just there to watch and record and essentially tell us a story. So him being a eternal, isn't he an eternal? Isn't eternity an eternal? No, he's not. He's a cosmic
He's
being,
one
sorry.
of the yeah, he's
He's a
one of the
cosmic
cosmic
being.
beings.
So that's it seems to be upgrading Uatu a little too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I like the layouting. He's like merged through the background of space and time and reality, I guess, just to highlight the fact that he's probably. I have something to comment about that later on, so we'll hold on to that thought. A few things. I've got a lot of likes actually in this guy. I tried to tease out the montage in the beginning to see if there's anything that will be dropped that foreshadows anything. I couldn't find anything apart from the fact that the very first one in the montage was Black Panther, but he was wearing the black and gold. So I thought that okay, maybe they're going to be showing the alternate ones, but the rest seem to be all based on the current MCU stories. We have the Steve, the Captain America, Steve Rogers Captain America. We have Captain Marvel. As what was her name? Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. It didn't seem like there was anything different from them. So maybe it was just me trying to understand. And it was on the part on when Uatu says a single decision can cause different realities, and that's when the prism shatters.
I think that was the point. It shatters, and
then we see the variants, the variations. So it was just really more of a setup in explaining that once there was only one, which was our sacred timeline, spoiler alert, and now it's not just that one. So I just really like that because it sort of confirms that What If is a direct result of or happened. We can now tell the story of What If because of what happened in the ending of Loki. So they're all connected still. Even if this seems like episodic standalone animation, which is the very first animation I think in the MCU, if I'm not mistaken. No, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse MCU?
It's not Disney though.
It's not Disney.
That's Sony.
That's a Sony.
So this is Sony, but are they retconning it to say it's now going to be part of MCU? We have yet to say. We have yet to discover.
Okay.
But anyways, putting that one aside, this one's our very first animation. So it's just I liked it that it's like, yes, okay, they're building on top of the multiverse as a result of Loki. Joel already hinted on this, and then I actually did watch the first Avenger and tried to tease out some of the parallels, and there were several. There were several. Obviously, you can catch them almost instantly. Most of the beginning, up until the point wherein Uatu mentions that, hey, at this point in time, that's when the stories diverged.
Yep.
And I watched it, and the decision for Peggy to stay on the ground floor and go up to the observation booth was where things diverged. It's not as clean, but I have a bit more to say about that in the dislikes. It's not as clean, it's not as smooth, but you can clearly see how things have changed because of that. The sequence wherein she was boxing, she was very mad and she was doing her boxing in front with Steve, and she was doing it with a punching bag. It's very reminiscent of the beginning of the Avengers movie, including I can't remember if I vaguely remember the weights being thrown at the wall. I'm not sure if that's reminiscent of something, a parallel of something, but I remember that being from somewhere else. The talk, so obviously the talk in the bar wherein they almost kissed. They did not kiss, right? So that sequence wherein it was Peggy who. So Steve was saying that I'm just a little man inside a suit, and then Peggy says, "No, you're not. Yeah, what's the even without the suit, you're somebody. What's important is the person inside. This is a parallel to the talk between what was the professor's name? Dr.
Erskine.
Erskine, yes. Between him and Rogers the night before when they were drinking schnapps. He did the same thing. So there were several, but
did they almost kiss?
Not
no,
Doctor.
Okay.
That's a little.
Because you were saying that those were like the parallels.
Yeah. You're latching onto the wrong things.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I really like that we have a Captain Carter's personalities is very reminiscent of who Peggy is. She's very headstrong. She's very brash. She's never had the opportunity to be upfront when tackling things. Even if you try to watch Agent Carter, she's very covert, right?
Yep.
And she highlights the fact that I've always been more covert, and she really enjoyed being able to hit people in the face, and she even to the point that she
throw
was like
bikes
ecstatic.
into
She was like flinging
wherever
people around,
to blow up
trucks.
all of these Nazis.
Exactly, and she was enjoying herself.
Yeah.
And she comments that I used to be more covert, and obviously she's not, and she's really enjoying that. So we saw what seemed to be very logical reaction. She was just gleeful. I really enjoyed that we saw what is essentially Mark 1, the Mark 1 armor, a good 50 years. A good 70 years.
More, 70 years.
Before it was supposed to show up. So Daddy Stark was the one who built it. This goes to show that it's in the blood. It's gonna show up. It looks exactly like the Mark 1 armor. And
it was powered by the Tesseract.
And it's powered by the Tesseract. Which they did say in Endgame, was it? Because they were saying that we needed. No. I just recently watched this. Which movie was that? They were trying to find a way to power the Tesseract in order to open the portal in Avengers. And where they decide to put it in, they put it in Stark Tower because of the arc reactor. So the arc reactor and the Tesseract sort of have similar kinship.
Connected.
Yeah, they're similar kinship. So it made total sense that this C-15 armor has sort of like the same design. It was still in the chest area. It made total sense. And then obviously I really enjoyed all the plausible repercussions. Several plausible repercussions. The fact that the train sequence didn't have Bucky falling off. We had Steve falling off. It was a trap. I can't remember the details of how they found out about the train in the first Avenger movie. But here it was like fed to them somehow. They found out. And it was apparently a trap. Paul, I think, wanted to point out, and I'll let him. You can expand that later of what the repercussions to Bucky. Was it you, Paul?
Maybe Joel.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe not. No. I think,
Although there was like a throwaway line that apparently was.
You almost took my arm.
Yeah, almost took my arm off, and it was the left arm.
That's true. That's true. Oh yeah. So there were a lot of they explored repercussions that made sense, I guess, with what was happening with the change in the story. Let's go to our dislikes. Joel, take it. Let's start you off with you.
Oh yeah. So I don't really have that many dislikes. My main dislike probably is that it could have been longer. 30 minutes of that show was a little too short for me, especially after coming off of Loki, where you had 45 to 50
and
minute
Bucky and
episodes.
And the Winter Snowman was also about an
hour. The Winter Snowman. Oh, that's new.
Was it
Winter Wonderland? It's Falcon and the Snowman.
Oh, Falcon and the Snowman. You're right. Okay, that's it.
Falcon and the Snowman. You had longer episodes, and then I don't know. They went down to 30 minutes for this. They could have like I would have been able to watch 15 more minutes of it, just to bring out a little bit more of the story, and even the maybe the relationships. Although this is supposedly a one-off
Yes.
episode, just
Yep.
to introduce Captain Carter, and then later on, I don't know how it's going to connect with all of the other 8 episodes.
Yes,
Because there's
so there's
9.
nine
There's yeah.
slated for
Yeah,
this
so
season.
yeah, I don't know how it's gonna connect to all of those, but yeah, it would have been nice to have that.
Yep.
To have just this small thing a little bit more expounded, and I think this goes into what you were mentioning a while ago, Arnold. The thing that I said, the repercussions about Bucky not falling off of the train, and it was Rogers, it was Steve who was captured. For me, that was a missed opportunity. I think that I can categorize that now as a dislike, because it was a missed opportunity for them to actually have Steve become the Winter Soldier. Yeah, because they just really wanted to tie it up. They wanted to make sure that they had that whole thing in the end where Peggy tells Steve, okay, we'll have a dance this Saturday, or something similar.
That's
something like
it. No, you're right. Yeah, they kind of had to do that just to
that.
make
Yeah.
it align a little bit more to
The
the
ending
ending of
Yeah.
the first
Of
Avenger.
first Avenger.
Because because in the same way that it was Bucky who fell off the train and became the Winter Soldier, it still been Bucky, there wouldn't have been that strong emotional connection between Bucky and Captain Carter.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
It had to have been Steve.
Yep.
Who became the Winter Soldier. So yeah, I guess that for me that was just a missed opportunity, and it would have been cool to see. Okay, he didn't become Captain America, but he became the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's it.
It would have been cool. Yeah, and then the other big dislike that I have, no Natalie Dormer. No Natalie Dormer character in the episode. She was in the first Avenger. She kissed Steve.
Oh,
Uh,
she was the one who
Radio operator.
yes, the one that
yeah.
the ladies at
Right before Carter like shot
Shot.
at the shield.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tested.
That's why she hit the shield really hard.
Yeah.
She shot
Yeah.
it
So
with a
there was
Dead
no Natalie
center.
Dormer. Why was there no Natalie Dormer?
Right. No, that's
Yeah. She's like yeah.
There's no need to.
There's
There
always a
is.
need for Natalie Dormer.
There also need- there's always a
What are
need
you
for
what are you
Natalie
talking
Dormer.
about? There's an excuse to add her in. Should have been taken.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, but yeah, that's a petty like, but that's a petty
Don't
dislike.
call
But
it
yeah,
petty.
it's still a dislike. Natalie Dormer should have been in the episode.
Yes.
They should put her in the future episodes.
For whatever reason, it shows up.
Yeah. As Lady
Paul.
Death. Okay, go on, Paul.
Okay, so for my dislike, it's not
Ooh, this is gonna be a
Anas-
debate.
it's not a
divisive. Huh?
it's I don't think it's gonna be divisive. So I the animation style, it's beautiful. It's very well done. I didn't like that they used CG.
It's a
I
mix.
wanted
It's like semi-cell shaded.
Exactly,
Um,
mixed with CG. I wanted more of a hand-drawn animation style.
Okay.
As an homage to the old Marvel TV shows, not the same type. I don't want it animated the
Are
same
you talking
way.
about like the
The moving-
old
yeah,
Spider-Man
the moving-
one?
The moving
the double Spider-Man one.
Yeah, so I don't want the same movies, the same animation here, but I want hand drawn. So I guess I want it as an homage, but a beautiful homage, not the same thing transposed into this storyline. So I just wanted the more of a hand drawn art style. So it's more classic Disney. If they were going to Disneyfy it, I wanted the more classic Disney.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I just wrote it that way in the notes, but that's what I meant.
Yeah.
When I said it's a dislike.
Ooh, when you heard me say that I like Disneyfied
But-
animation, you
Yeah, because when you mentioned it, I said, okay, the easiest way to write down my dislike, because I was hurrying, is
Same thing.
the Disneyfied animation.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then this as a part of that, so attached to that dislike, I'm hoping, but this is obviously not going to be the case. I was hoping that the rest, like each individual episode, will be animated differently. But of course, you already
Oh.
know that's not gonna happen.
That's
but
it. Yeah, we've seen already in the trailer.
yeah, I wanted it to be that way. The reason why is because we're looking into different scenarios and different what if. So I wanted to be different. Um, the animation style to be different. All throughout.
You're thinking around the same style as the Animatrix.
That's right. That's right.
It would have been cute if they had actually done it like in the 1940s, how a 1940s
Cartoon would look like.
cartoon would have looked like.
Yeah.
So black and white.
Yeah.
And all of that.
So
To this,
so
and then do something else for some of the other ones.
exactly. Because every single TV show we watch, well, not every, but similar to how they did
WandaVision.
WandaVision. Exactly that way. So one of the things though is Joel mentioned already, which I'm hoping they carry on, is since they made the animation for this first episode more of a to have that 40s
Like
I guess
sepia look.
the ambiance, the glow of the whole animation is sepia like, so it which is akin to what the century it's been made for, based on.
Yep.
And we're probably going to see that moving forward, which is something that I would categorize as a like. So it just made me realize that I like that part.
Oh, okay.
Because when I see the Black Panther Star-Lord preview, I'm expecting like loud colors, neons and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be taken the same way. The treatment will be the same across the 8 episodes.
Right. Yeah. I think that's that's already the established design for the whole series. For my dislikes, I totally agree with Joel. 30 minutes, there's only so much they could fit in 30 minutes, and they were trying to retell the story of the first Avenger in 30 minutes. So there's the pacing was really, really fast. And we're not talking about low-key level of speed but concise storytelling. This is just really jumping from one point to the other. Some of the dialogue felt very unnatural, only because you're like, okay, you jump from that one to this one now. We've talked about this a few times before. It's very, very minimal for my point. It just felt a little bit awkward, but totally understand.
Biggest hits. It's basically first Avenger biggest hits, but with Captain Carter.
With Captain Carter, exactly. Yeah. The one of the things I was totally and this one when I was watching the first Avengers movie, I was trying to follow how they actually came about with figuring out what the Tesseract was, and at the very least in the Avengers movie it was a total surprise for them. They were like, what the hell is this? It's a nice big glowy square. It was just Stark was able to track its gamma readings, I think, but that's totally just like a side comment. He mentions that in the episode, but it just feels so suddenly Tesseract, because they're like, the readings that we're getting from that. How are they doing these readings from like 1940s? But anyways, it's just that's just one of the things. It's like. So essentially, it didn't feel right how they introduced the Tesseract. I mean, it's how did they find out about the Tesseract? So this is something that I was hoping they would have explained a little bit better. Finally, the other thing also that didn't seem like a very well way of telling the story is that Peggy's 70-year sleep is slightly different. She wasn't frozen in ice. She was sucked into whatever location the space calamari was.
Davy Jones' locker.
But it seemed like she not only jumped in space, she jumped through time as well. Space and time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, time is a flat circle. And she was instantly. She did not sleep. It was like a near instant for her.
Yep.
And she's now in the present time.
Ooh.
Instead of Loki stepping out of
the door.
The door opened by the Tesseract.
Yeah.
It was her.
Yeah.
Immediately after she got sucked in. Right? Immediately
And
after
tentacles.
her sacrifice. So she got like dead tentacles flying off. So that one was very different from my point
No,
of
but
view.
it's not instantaneous though, because if you remember, she was pushing the squiddy guy into the portal.
Yeah.
And with a
in
lot
the
of
previous
tentacles
scene.
wrapped
They
around her.
closed. They fought
And then
inside.
yeah, so basically it's like That last word that she gave to Steve was "Fly, you fools,"
Yes.
and then she goes down with a Balrog.
Yeah.
And then she comes out. She's now Captain. She's now General Carter because she's already
Great.
leveled up.
So
She's
she's
not.
Carter the White.
Yeah, she's now Carter the White basically. And
Yep.
she's out there.
But I mean, sure, it was probably not instantaneous, but highly doubt that it lasted for 70 years fighting, right?
No,
Yeah.
no. It's probably like 30 minutes, I think.
Enough for her to cut the tentacles
Yeah,
off.
because when she came out, like, where's Steve, right? So she was expecting to see him there
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm.
castle, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think it's really maybe 30 minutes.
Okay, so it just didn't feel the moment I was watching it, it didn't feel like it was too different from what I was expecting. I was thinking that could probably, because I was wondering, okay, how will she have the 70-year sleep? While I was watching the show, I said, she definitely needs to have it, just so that it ties into. My thought was that she still had to have the same displaced person to be at a similar kind of character as Steve Rogers' Captain America. She needs to be at the present time, but with her 70-year-old principles. So I was wondering how they would do that, and this one is essentially a doorway, wormhole kind of effect that happened. So it's just slight. Again, all of these are just really, really minor things, as well, similar to all of you guys. So let's go to theories and expectations. I know this is like episodic, so it's kind of like moot to come up with theories and expectations.
So
But
that's
we
the-
did. We kept on.
We'll do it anyways.
We'll do
I
it
saw
anyway.
that you guys wrote something, so I'm gonna go and volunteer to be first because I didn't write anything, and the reason why was because I wanted to write something at the end of the whole season.
Yeah. Okay.
How it's
Instead
going to
of
affect everything else.
yeah, how instead of writing per episode, because it's so yeah, and Arnold is right because the way I looked at it is it's episodic. You wouldn't know until the very end of the episode how they planned the episode that we're watching. And so for me there's no at least the way I look at it, there's no information for me to have a theory on what's coming out next, but I want to be able to give an opinion on what's going to happen in the next season based off of what we see in the first season. So
Is there going to be a second
I was
season?
wondering
Well-
if there's already been. Okay.
we're
Just in
I'm
case.
here's hoping because I really like this approach.
Okay.
Cool.
So Joel, lead us off.
Oh yeah, so yeah, my first and very very plausible
Yep.
theory or expectation is that of course Kang Immortus, he who remains. What other name does he have? King Ramatat Crimson. What's his name? Crimson Defender or something? Crimson
I
Guardian
don't even know.
or Nathaniel Richards. He's gonna make an appearance
Yay.
at one point or another.
Yay.
Yeah, of course he is. He's gonna be there. I mean,
Yeah.
this whole thing was caused by what Sylvie did to him, and he did say "see you soon" or something like that.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Because he'll obviously exist as a variant.
Yeah, as a variant, and we've already seen that the Kang is already existing in the
In
timeline that Loki got dropped off into. So yeah, Kang, I hope that he's going to make a cameo, even just a cameo appearance a la Thanos in the Avengers in all of the previous MCU movies, leading up to him being the big bad of Phase 4, probably even until Phase 5.
Yep.
So yeah, that's I think that's a very plausible expectation that we can have. It
So
might
in
be
one of the remaining 8. Is essentially what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay.
It's in one of the remaining 8, or who knows? There might have been a small clue somewhere that we won't find out until the end.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right?
We'll be like, all right, was just there.
Yeah. Miss Minutes was there.
Oh, I can see
One
her
of the
now.
clocks was apparently Miss Minutes. That's my plausible. My reach is that we're gonna see
I like this one.
Haley Atwell,
I like this.
a buffed up Haley Atwell.
She needs to be
become
super
part.
huge.
Yeah, become part of the MCU live action films,
Yes.
because I'm sure that Chris Evans is on the way out. So they're gonna need to They're gonna need to continue that. Although we do already have Mackie,
Yes.
Aaron Mackie as
We
the
have
new
the
Captain
Falcon
America.
Captain America. Yeah. We
Yeah,
have Eli Bradley,
Eli
waiting in the
Bradley.
waiting in the
Yeah.
wings. Yeah.
Why not put in Captain Carter?
Mm.
Right? Because Captain Carter, there is really a Captain Carter in the comics.
Yep.
Although that I think that's also still just a variant timeline. But yeah, I do hope that they put Captain Carter in the live MCU films.
That'd be interesting. I'd like to see
Yeah,
that
just
as well.
yeah.
We haven't seen enough. Have any of you actually tried watching Captain Carter?
I watched a few. I think only
You
up
mean
until
Agent Carter.
Sorry,
Agent Carter,
Agent
yeah.
Carter. Yes.
Agent
Yeah,
Carter.
I finished the whole season.
Nope,
First
that was
season.
Peggy Carter, Agent of Shield, right?
Yes, Peggy Carter, Agent of Shield.
I only watched the episodes where Bridget Regan was in. Yeah, only those
Fanboying.
episodes. No, only up till there.
Okay.
But
She
before that,
hasn't-
yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't. Bridget Regan is a beautiful individual, so
Yeah.
It wasn't because of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think
He's just
I
noting that
lost
that's where he stopped.
interest.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it I think the same way for me. I completely watched the first season, but then when they started crossing over with Agents of Shield,
Oh yeah, they did that, right?
they started crossing over this. There would be the past story, and then there's a future story where it's connected to the Agents of Shield, right? So, and it's the same thing that they're chasing after. So when it was connected to the Agents of Shield storyline already, that's where I kind of teetered
Lost.
off.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to catch up with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So does that mean that Agents of Shield is not canon? Oh, sorry,
It's
not
not.
Agents of Shield. Peggy Carter.
Peggy
is not
Carter?
canon?
No,
Peggy
I
Carter.
think Peggy Carter is.
Okay.
It's just that crossover.
But
isn't
yeah, how would they cross over with a non-canon?
I don't
Television
know.
show.
I don't know.
They,
It's so weird.
Agents
that
of
they do.
Shield dreamed up that crossover.
Just like how they dreamed up Sif coming down.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
every-
all that. It's all just a dream.
Yep.
For my theories and expectations, so we already know, we've already seen from trailers, bits and pieces of what the future episodes will be like, right?
Yep.
We already will see. I think it's episode 2. We'll see T'Challa as Star-Lord. So it's him who is taken by the Ravagers instead of Peter Quill. I think we discovered that he is the child of Ego. So same thing, right? He's a child of Ego and all that, and he's essentially part Celestial. The zombies one we know of. It's a very popular.
I am waiting for that one.
the zombies one.
I love Marvel Zombies.
All right, there's that. I have no idea what. It's very popular visually, but I have no idea what that story is going to be like. It's going to be interesting.
What, Marvel Zombies?
Yes.
Yeah, neither do I.
You haven't read any of them? It's
I haven't-
very good.
I actually have
It's
not read
so
any
good.
What If. So, these are all new to me.
No, but Marvel Zombies is not. Well, is it a what?
Yeah,
if?
there was a no. I don't think it's a what if.
It's a real
They
series.
came up with
yeah.
That's why
It's a real brand.
yeah.
You should. It's really good. It's really good. I can recommend one. You should read Marvel Zombies. One
I'm
of
not a
them.
fan of zombies, but sure, I'll give it a try.
They're super powered zombies.
I know. My goodness.
Anyway, continue.
We've got and this was I was just like teasing out from the posters and the stuff that they've showed, that what do you call this, the artwork that they've showed. We have Gamora in wearing Thanos' armor, so maybe maybe Thanos isn't able to pursue his dream, and Gamora actually takes it on herself. She even has the double blade thingy, maybe the one. Maybe she can spin it like a helicopter as well.
And fly.
Maybe not. We've got Spider-Man in a cape. I found out that this is an actual what if, and the what if was what if Spider-Man never became a crime fighter. So it's what if
The
number
Spider-Man
19.
with a cape that's Peter Parker as the
Sorcerer Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme. There you go.
Is that a what if? Because this one's an actual what if.
I don't know, but yeah, this is that storyline, the one that you're mentioning here, is going to be Peter Parker as the Sorcerer Supreme.
Are you're already certain about that?
Yes.
Oh.
I think I've seen animated cuts. I mean, I've seen it in the previews of What If.
Okay.
That
So, cool.
it's Spider-Man, but as Sorcerer Supreme.
Cool. It'll be cool if
Spider
he does
Sorcerer.
that. He does. So he does that, and instead of
So yeah, he
webs
does
coming
that.
out, it'll be the
Shoots web as well as astral whatever.
Yeah.
So there's several already. There's a few that I couldn't tell what they were. There was one with Hulk. I have no idea what he was doing, and we've got that scene already. We know of the collector, the very buff collector, and they were duking it out with. He was duking it out with Yondu and T'Challa Star-Lord. So I guess that's next episode.
The Charlord.
The Char-Lord. The mouthful.
I hope their salute is still like this.
But oh, maybe not. Wakanda forever.
Maybe not, because he was taken as a
He was
kid.
already taken as a kid. But then again, maybe Wakanda Forever wasn't his creation. Maybe it was, passed down by the generation.
Yeah, true.
So we already know that we have Killmonger's. There's a story with Killmonger
As
as the guy
Black
who
Panther?
saves Tony Stark. So there'll be those. So those are my just because they're obvious. So we already have ideas about those. My actual reach is very much related to Paul's what Paul was planning on doing at the end of the show. But I'm gonna lay it out as early as now. I think I would like there to be an overarching theme. These will still be episodic, as in they're not related to each other, but very much like how Joel pointed out that we probably will be seeing Kang in one way, shape, or form.
Right.
I think so that it leads into the rest of Phase 4. I think there's going to be an overarching story somehow, right? And somehow, we have Kang intrusions, shows up, just bits and pieces of him being there, right? The Sphinx missing,
clues.
right? Or it'll be cool if there'll be Loki intrusions as he's just still running around trying to look for Sylvie, or as the guy who's running the TVA, undercover trying to figure out, because I don't know what the TVA will be doing because there's just too much work. There are variants everywhere. And my last reach is, I think Uatu is aware of the sacred timeline I'm unraveling. I think he's probably he could probably be an entity very similar to Loki who survived the shift. Right? That he's actually he's like a bishop character who's aware of both timelines.
Maybe he's outside, right? Because they're
Could
the
be
Watchers.
outside.
He's outside of everything.
He's unaffected.
Yep.
So I'm just thinking.
Oh, here's a reach. It's already 70 years past,
Yes.
and Peggy Carter is still going to see Steve. He's now being maintained by the Hydra Stomper.
Oh,
A suit of armor. He's always
Yeah,
permanently
so he's like
inside it.
90 years old, but he's in the suit of armor and he's still cool.
Well, they do
because
have the
he's
Tesseract, but
being
they-
de-aged by the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Well,
he's-
they did have to pull out the Tesseract in order to open that door.
All right, that's why the armor was like this. Yeah, they'll just reconnect.
Yeah, they
the
can
armor.
reconnect it. Or by then, the arc reactor will have been created already.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
But in order for your theory,
Yeah.
we have to use the Tesseract to extend his life.
Could be.
It's
But there is-
better. It's better.
But there is a connection, like what Arnold said. There is a kinship between the
Arc
arc reactor and the Tesseract.
My
Because
my only trouble
yeah.
there is that we now have to have a different explanation of how the arc reactor exists, because this was the direct effect of Tony
Yeah, so
needing a magnet.
basically in this timeline, Howard invented it while studying the Tesseract.
Yeah, because the design for the arc reactor was based on his studies of the Tesseract.
Was it? I forgot
Yeah.
Iron Man 1. So.
It's in IM2, I think.
Oh.
Remember the actual design was the theme park thing, and then he had that
I have to
notebook
rewatch
of
Iron Man.
Howard Stark
I have to rewatch
where
Iron Man.
all of the notes about the Tesseract was in
I
there.
remember the theme park. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, in the notebook, the Howard Stark notebook with all of the notes of about the Tesseract,
He
because
did
Howard
that
Stark
because
did get a chance to study the Tesseract.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
definitely. He's got his hands all over it. Well, there you go. It'll be it's an interesting start, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm super keen on finding out.
Oh yeah, one more note. This isn't a like or a dislike that I've got, but only because I've been watching it recently. Peggy Carter flying on the back of the Hydra Stomper.
Yep.
Looks so much like Stargirl flying on the back of Stripes in the
Yeah.
Stargirl TV show.
Yep.
It's exactly like it. You've got a huge robotic character,
Yep.
and then you've got the heroine holding onto the handle
Yep.
with a weapon on the other hand, and then they're flying off somewhere.
Exactly.
I don't know if they. I don't. I'm sure that it's not an homage, but yeah, but it looks too much alike.
How else will you fly on a
Holding on like that? I don't know.
on the shoulders? I
No,
don't
there was an action pose. There's always supposed to
There
be
has to be an action pose. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a hero pose.
know. He lands
Yeah.
with a freaking shield. Right?
Yeah.
It's
She's a
very
poser, too.
similar.
She's a
It's
poser.
very similar to Jack Sparrow riding the sea turtles.
No, but he's
More
got
proof
like the leash,
that
right?
Pirates
the
of the
Like
Caribbean
standing.
is part of the multiverse.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Sooner or later, Jack Sparrow's gonna show up. That's a
Here-
theory.
that's a
Here's
theory.
hoping.
That's
theory.
it
I hope Johnny Depp.
for the show. Thank you again to Paul and Joel for joining me and sharing thoughts, impressions, and theories on this episode of What If. I ask you, dear audience, how would you retell this particular story? Next time, we
Comment
continue
down below.
traveling through the multiverse, reliving the familiar as new variant stories. What changes to key MCU events are you keen to see? We'd love to know your ideas. As always, dear audience, we hope you tune in to the next episode and continue to hang out with us. Till then, bye.